Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 39 of the Rocknroll Beer Guy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Phantom Carriage Brewery. It's a horror-themed brewery located in Carson, California. They got some great beer like the Lugosi High Gravity Barrel-Aged Sour Quad. It's one of my personal favorites. Go by there and pick up a bottle today. While you're there, tell the bartender that the podcast sent you and you'll get 10% off your bill. In this episode, I talked to Bryan Giles of the band Red Fang. We talk a little bit about rock and roll. We talk a little bit about beer. And since I recorded this on Halloween, I asked him a couple of Halloween-themed questions. I had a great time talking to him, and I hope you guys enjoy. Cheers.
Hello, is it Eddie?
Hey, how's it going, Brian? Yeah, this is Eddie.
How's it going?
Doing good, man. Sorry, I was just watching the new Rollo Tomasi video that just came out.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Oh, dude, check them out. They're, I don't know how to describe it. It's heavy. There's a girl singing. There's keyboard stuff that happens, piano stuff.
This is a band's name, Rollo Tomasi.
Tomasi, yeah. It's a group. I think they're from France. I might be wrong, but
Okay.
I don't know. I just logged onto the PRP and saw that they just came out with a video, and it's heavy. Didn't get to hear the vocals, but it sounds heavy.
Well, cool. I'll check it out.
Cool, man. Happy Halloween. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Happy Halloween to you, too.
Are you a big celebrator of Halloweens?
Can't say that I am.
No?
No.
Do you, like, straight out hate it? Because I know some people that hate it, and I don't understand why they would hate it, but...
No, I don't hate it at all. I just don't... I'm terrible with costumes, and just in general... the holidays are just, it's more hassle than it's worth.
That is true, man. This year, I mean, I love celebrating it also just because I use it as a birthday celebration. My birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I usually just party out on Halloween, but when it's on a Tuesday, like I don't think I'm going to do anything.
Yeah. I think my wife and I are going to hide in the basement and watch movies so the people don't think we're home.
Yeah, that sounds good though. I mean, last year I bought a bunch of candy and nobody came knocking, so I have a bunch. I still have candy from last year.
I think last year we put out a bowl of candy, and we got home. I don't know where we went, but we got home a couple hours later, and it was all gone. And I suspect that there was one real fat kid that had a lot of candy.
Just one kid had a giant bag. He's like, "Fuck this!"
Exactly. He had to go home for a suitcase so he could get it all.
A rolling suitcase because he's fat, so he can't be carrying that around.
I don't know why he's fat. He's soon to be fat. Let's say that.
Soon to be fat. Soon to be a diabetic coma victim.
But happy.
But happy, of course. I mean, unless you left like terrible candy. Like I saw they were doing Brussels sprouts covered in chocolate as a prank somewhere online. I'm like, that's disgusting. I mean, I like Brussels sprouts. Don't get me wrong, but not covered in chocolate.
No,
and not when you're expecting candy.
It's a bad combo.
Yeah. So for all the people that are listening that are not aware, I'm here with Bryan. Is it Giles or Giles?
Oh, Giles.
Giles?
Yeah. All
right. So I'm here with Bryan Giles of Red Fang. And you do guitar and vocals in the band?
I do, yeah.
Is the music a collaborative effort, or is it mostly one person coming up with a bunch of riffs and then everybody just tagging on?
It's very much collaborative. But generally, it's, we're a riff-driven band. So generally, it's a riff. Someone will bring in a riff. When I do, I try to bring in at least two that sort of get along so that it's a easier jumping off place for making a song out of it.
Sure.
So a lot of times we'll have come up with a riff that we're all really excited about, but just can't seem to marry it to anything that either lives up to it or works with it. And it's just sad to have a really great riff that we keep playing over and over again and never seem to make anything out of it. So if I can't find something, it doesn't have to be great, but it's just something that a progression from one riff to the next, and a lot of times I will wait to bring it up until I've got at least some direction to go.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That makes it easier.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we can write a song in a day, and other times it takes weeks. So I, you know, we tried. I like it when it's more, you know, it comes more naturally. I mean, we grind it out. I mean, you know, we'll do that, but it's more fun when it's kind of a natural thing.
Sure. Are you one of those bands that, you know, you're writing all the time, or are you taking time off to write? Like, okay, guys, no more tour. We're going to write a whole album and then just sit there and nail it out.
For this most recent record we took 3 months off from any shows, touring or any local shows, just so that we didn't have to think about, you know, keeping the songs tight, you know, that we already have, and just spent, you know, 3 or 4 days a week for 3 months, you know, just concentrating on writing. And I like that because, you know, doing it just when you can, I just feel like every time you get back to the writing process, it takes a couple of days to, you know, get the creative gears going again. So even just playing a local show can put us back a week as far as, you know, getting back into the songwriting mode.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of bands that they end up writing on the road because they're on the road all the time, and you know, no, you know, not to take them down in any way, but it's just the albums end up becoming about the road, you know, just about living in that situation.
That's true. I've heard there's plenty of on the road songs out there, and I'm sure where it comes from.
Yeah, and I mean, I know there's people that carry like recording equipment on the road and everything, just to, you know, in the van or whatever, they'll just plug in a guitar and write riffs and record them, and it's like, that's cool. It keeps you productive and all that, but I'm more of the jammy. I want to get together in the room with the guys and jam. Let's get drunk and whatever happens, you know, naturally.
I agree, and plus we're still in a 15-passenger van. We're in the U.S., so if we try to plug in a guitar, we'd probably stab the driver in the eye and I'll die.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Is Red Fang the first band you were in, or did you have like a bunch of bands before?
Oh, I've been in a slew of them.
Okay.
It's probably my 9th or 10th band.
Oh, okay. And is it, you know, predominantly rock and roll, is stoner metal? Like, what kind of genres were you playing with?
Yeah, pretty much all either, you know, mostly, well, I guess I started out with, it was sort of a Stooges worship band.
Okay.
Or really more like Iggy Pop, I guess. More storytelling to a rock and roll beat. But, and then I did some, you know, like math rock, that kind of thing, instrumental metal. I was in a country band for a bit until I just accepted the fact that I can't play country guitar to save my life, and it would probably the band would be better served without me. And way back in the day, I was in a ska band. God help me.
Ooh.
I was also terrible at that.
Did they have horns? I mean, you can't be a ska band without a horn section.
Yeah, man, we had it all. We had this keyboard. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it had a Leslie in it or what, but it weighed a ton. So I remember, you know, having that in the back of a pickup truck and taking like 8 of us to get it on the stage. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, so we told the keyboard player they'd have to get some kind of keyboard that simulates that sound, because we're not touching that ever again.
Yeah, run a sample. Like, yeah, just run it in the background as a sample. It's fine. Don't carry that giant keyboard everywhere.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you know, there's plenty of modern synthesizers that can make a very good, you know, facsimile of these expensive, rare and heavy keyboards.
Yeah, man. Nowadays, I mean, you get a little laptop or a little, not even, just one of those like iPad things, and plug it into a MIDI controller, and you got whatever the hell you want.
That's right. Yeah.
It's insane.
And you save your back.
Yeah. So do you like messing with technology? Like your band to me always just seems like straightforward. You guys are just drinking beer and rocking out. Like, I don't picture you guys whipping out an iPad at one of your shows. You know what I mean?
Oh no. I mean, you know, the studio, I like to, you know, play with the gadgets and stuff. And, you know, cause I think that the listening to a band on record is different, because you can't force them to listen to it at 103 decibels. Mm-hmm. And there's no visual thing. There's no, you know, dudes jumping around being sweaty. So I think you want to make the experience deeper. So when they're in the studio, I like, you know, messing with, you know, whatever crazy effects pedals are around, you know, and using technology to our advantage that way. But live, I mean, only recently I started playing a bass octaver, but that's the only effect I use now. Other than that, it's just a tuner and the natural distortion from the amp. So yeah, we're very straightforward in that way.
But I love it, man. I love it. I saw you guys recently in Long Beach, and it was fucking killer.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it was a fun show.
Yeah, when I heard you guys were playing Alex's bar, I was like, wait, what? Alex's bar is tiny. It's and last time I saw you guys was at the Glass House, which is way bigger.
Yeah, well, I think it's the way things work is, you put out a record and there's, you have the press machine rolling and everything. And so people are sort of have their ears perked or looking out for you. But, we're between records right now. It's been about a year since our current record came out. So it's, we try to pare it down. And honestly, I love playing those small rooms. They're super fun. People hang.
Yeah, the crowd's way more into it.
Yeah, they're hanging from the rafters, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. There was I remember, I think when you guys started playing Wires, the pit broke out, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it makes you feel good. It's like, hey, we're making people happy.
Hell yeah. And like you were saying that it's been about a year, and you guys have been putting out records pretty consistently, like every 2 years. So are we to expect one in about a year or so?
I would love to be back in the studio before next summer. That would be great. But I don't know. I mean, I think probably realistically, we'll probably be back in the studio late summer, early fall, and probably release something early 2019, I would guess. But our last record, 2 records ago, we really scrambled to put it together, and I'm proud of that record. But I hated the process because we were under the gun,
Sure.
So Only Ghosts, we just took as long as we felt was, where we were going to put out something that we, represented us and we were happy with. So that ended up taking almost 3 years to come out. So we don't want to do every 3 years. We're trying to close that, make it more like 2, or shorter would be great. But we're not the kind of guys that just crap out songs. We're pretty hard on ourselves. I mean, we gotta get everything just so before we put out a record.
Word. Yeah. No, it's important. I mean, as long as you can get it out quick. I mean, my band's taken 5-6 years. Like Tool, it takes like 10 years for a new album. I don't like that. I would rather produce something every 2 years so that you stay on people's minds. You're playing local shows, you're playing bigger shows, and everybody's going to come out because they're aware of you. Like if you take a 5-6 year break, unless you're Tool, you can afford to do that. Like smaller bands wouldn't survive like that.
Yeah, you vanish, especially in the U.S. I mean, the attention span of U.S. music fans is very short. It is definitely a "what have you done for me lately" kind of situation in the States. Over, in Europe and other places, I think there's a little more loyalty to a band where if they like you, it doesn't really matter where you are in your record cycle or whatever. They're, there's going to come out and support you. But yeah, for touring the U.S., if it's been 2 years since you put out a record, good luck.
How is it that, can't we get that? Like, how can we get that over here? That attention span that the Europeans have for music. I don't know what needs to happen for that to. I mean, I know we have to be different. Everybody has to be different, but it would be nice if there was more love for rock and metal music and heavy music in general. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am completely not qualified to answer that question in any factual way. But my guess is that it's basically a symptom of capitalism. I think that everyone wants the newest, shiniest object, and if you haven't just come out with a new shiny object, it's like nobody wants to have an iPhone 5. I mean, it would be embarrassing. It wouldn't take it out of their pocket. So in the same way with their bands, they're embarrassed to be like I think people are concerned that it's not cool to be into a band that isn't the hot topic, that's everyone's talking about. And I say that in a very general way. I think it's more about cities. I mean, some cities are very much that way, and other cities are more European. It's regional, I'd say. I mean, for example, sure. And I grew up, I spent several years. I lived in San Diego, but I went to see Unsane in San Diego. It was a long time ago in the early 2000s, and there was, I believe there was 4 people there. I was one of them. And then I saw them a year later in Portland, and they sold out a 300 cap room. So it's like, I think like Portland, I think even though it's a smaller city than San Diego, I think it's the art community is stronger here. So I guess, anyway, I guess you could extrapolate that to, I'm not going to go city by city, but it seems like that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I have done a bit of traveling and noticed that there is certain cities that are just cooler, but man, maybe it has a lot to do with that siesta that they take over there. I mean, like I went to Spain and they just take a nap at like 1:00 in the afternoon, and they don't really have any like time to come back to work.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I'd get on board with mandatory naps for sure.
Oh, dude. I mean, think about it. I mean, if there was ever a president to get away with that, though.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's legalize naps. Like we need to have that mandatory.
Yeah, I would sign up for that for sure.
Oh man, it's great out there with that. It bothered me a little bit because I was a tourist and I'm like, what the fuck? Everything's closed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a sandwich and there's no restaurants at all.
And it's like, when do you guys reopen? I don't know. When I wake up, I'll be back.
When I feel like it. Yeah. but then and then they they're out at the bars till like 4 or 5 a.m. So it makes sense. They need that nap.
Yeah. I mean, when I was there, I didn't sleep. It was just nonstop. There's always something going on.
It's true.
I mean, the last time I was in Spain, I woke up in a couch that I did not know whose couch it was, where I was, but Clerks was on the TV in Spanish.
Really?
And then I look around, and there's a bunch of people passed out just smoking, blunts and drinking, and I look around, I'm just like, what the fuck? And then they just passed me a joint, and I was like, all right, well, fuck it. It's almost like I'm back home watching Clerks, smoking a joint.
Right. Fine. Well, at least you smoke weed, then you're like, oh, I don't know where I am, but it's just the weed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And out there, they don't smoke. It's not like California. Like they smoke hash out there. They don't really smoke weed. They get very little weed, and whatever they do get, it's mixed in with tobacco because they roll it with cigarettes.
Yeah, the Euro we call it.
The Euro, yeah, which is fine. I mean, I guess it produces a more casual, joint.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you're passing it around, it lasts longer.
Yeah. What's your favorite country to visit? I mean, I've been talking about Spain this whole time, but like, if you were to go visit for a honeymoon or an anniversary or something, like, what's your place?
Well, my wife and I just got back from a 2-week vacation in Portugal, and that's nice. Beautiful. It's a really. I mean, we spent a lot of time on the southern tip of Portugal. And it's more touristy, more vacation area.
Sure.
And it was quiet, and that was nice. The beaches were beautiful, and it's just going to restaurants and going to the beach and swimming. But spent a couple of days in Lisbon, and that city is just gorgeous. I mean, it's really nice. I think we only spent 2 nights there, and I wish we'd spent more time there. But I've been to Portugal several times on tour, and I was like, man, if I could ever do it, I would love to vacation here. And so we worked it out. We did a festival run this summer, and then at the end of the run, we flew in. I think from Nice to Amsterdam, and then I just stayed at the Amsterdam airport. My wife flew in 2 hours later.
Oh, nice.
And we started vacation. It was great. So yeah, I love that place. We have had the opportunity to go to South America a couple of times, and it's really lovely down there too. Just too bad these places are so freaking far away.
Yeah. Every flight is ridiculous, man. I mean, I think it was like 9 hours from New York to Spain or something like that.
Yeah, that's about right. I think the first time we went to Sao Paulo, we were just supposed to play one festival in Sao Paulo, and then we were going to take a day off to enjoy it. But then that day got filled with the show. Well, no, there was a festival in Brasilia, but then someone offered us a club date in Sao Paulo, and we said, all right, damn it, we'll do it. So much for sightseeing. But after that show, I think from door to door it was 24 hours. From when we walked out of the hotel to when I walked in my front door was 24 hours. And I think it was 21 hours of planes and trains. So yeah, I've gotten used to being in airplanes, but just being in a tube for that long, it gets maddening.
It does, man. I couldn't even handle the 9. I was starting to panic.
Yeah, 9 doesn't bother me. That's totally fine. Luckily, Portland has a direct. Delta has a direct from Portland straight to Amsterdam. So we take advantage of the planet getting smaller on the caps, so you can kind of jump over the planet, and it's like 9 hours and 45 minutes, and that's nothing. They have free movies and free booze, so just I'll put my seatbelt on and do a little time traveling.
Free booze is good. Free booze will get you there.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to get totally shit-faced, but a couple of drinks will help you nap, and if you wake up, if you take a 2-hour nap, you're like, all right, that's whatever 30% of the trip is out of the way, or 20%, whatever the math is there.
Yeah. No, I love doing that. I am the type to get completely wasted before getting on the plane if it's a long trip. Like if I'm doing more than 3 hours, I'm gonna show up with at least 6 drinks in me already, probably an edible of some kind, and I just want to sit down, get my little neck pillow, and pass the fuck out and wake up there.
Yeah, that's amazing if you could do that. I mean, I find that it can have the opposite effect for me. So I've pretty much stopped doing that, just because you wake up on the plane halfway through and you're hungover and you feel like crap, and you still have to sit there for another 4.5 hours. That is not my idea of a good time. So I generally maybe get to the airport, have a Bloody Mary, and then a couple of drink service comes through, have a couple of drinks, and then hopefully just take a couple of naps, try to get through it.
Sure, yeah. Now, since we're kind of talking about drinking, you guys are kind of notorious for your videos having, like, you guys drinking in the videos and all that. So, are you a big beer guy? Are you a craft beer guy? Or you just drink PBR?
I think it seems as though I'm one of the last standing that really drinks beer in the band.
Okay.
But yeah, I still generally drink for value. I'm having an Olympia beer right now. So yeah, I mean, if it's inexpensive and piss yellow, that's pretty much, I'm on board.
Nice. Have you ever considered making like a fizzy yellow beer with somebody, like a brewery, doing like a Pilsner?
We have done Red Fang beers in the past, a couple of times, and we've worked with some breweries that way. And that's what I generally would like them to do, but really, it's it's more it's what they're good at, and so when it's like, well, we trust you. I mean, I don't have to drink it.
Yeah, but at least it's out there, So you
it's
don't
cool.
like you don't like IPAs or like stouts or anything like that. You just stick to the light.
No, I like stout beers. Every once in a while, I'll have one of those, but I just can't. If I'm going out drinking, I'm not going to drink Guinness all night. I'll have one for the flavor, and then it's like, well, screw it. I'm going to save a couple of bucks and have the crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's out here, especially in LA, it's hard to not like just go for the cheapest thing on the menu, because a lot of times these bars are overcharging.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just in LA, and I know what you mean, man. It is not cheap. I think the cheap drink option at the bar we played in San Francisco was the poor man's option was a shot of well anything and a PBR for $9. I'm like, get out of here. What am I, the opera? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Alex's bar was all right. They had like $3 Olympias, but I when I got there, I got all, cocky. I'm like, oh, wow, they have this really interesting coconut thing on draft. Let me try that. And it was a coconut stout on nitro. And my buddy, I ordered him an IPA, and when they came back, they're like, yeah, that'll be 20. I'm like, excuse me?
For one beer?
Yeah, well, 2. I bought one for my friend that was there with me. But still, 2 beers, $10 a beer. Like,
yeah, well, what? I mean, I'm fine with people drinking whatever they want. You're going to go broke doing it.
Yeah. My follow-up beer was Olympia for sure. I was like, no, dude, I can't do $10 beers all night. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Oh, man. But so do you remember who you collaborated with the beers?
Now you put me on the spot. There was a brewery in Colorado that made a limited run Red Fang beer. Let's see. I honestly couldn't off the top of my head tell you. I still have a bottle of Red Fang beer from somewhere in Russia, but I think that may have just been alternative labeling for an existing beer.
I think all right. So there's one here called Red Fang from Elk Mountain Brewing Company.
That rings a bell.
Okay. Where are they from? They're from Colorado, Parker, Colorado.
There you have it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yay, internet.
Yay, internet. So there's also a Red Fang beer from Cottage Brewing, And I think it has you guys in the label. Yeah, you guys are in the label. They're from England.
Ah, okay. That one it's completely over my head, which is terrible. I should know these things.
Yeah, there's a little cartoon of you guys inside somebody's mouth.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that image.
Yeah. Cottage
Disturbing.
Brewing Company.
You don't want any of us in your mouth.
Lovington, Somerset, wherever that may be. By the way, shout out to the UK. I've noticed that there's a lot of listeners actually out there. So I see you.
Jolly good.
Jolly good. Drink some more beer.
Yeah, man.
And listen to more rock and roll.
Yeah, take a lorry. Don't drive.
Don't drive at all. So, tell me about drinking for you. Since you were saying that you are the only one that drinks beer, are they not drinking anymore, or are they drinking like booze now, just straight up booze?
It's our drummer is a wine enthusiast.
Okay.
So he drinks more wine than beer. I mean, it's not to say that he won't drink a beer. It's just he prefers wine.
Okay. And anybody else in the band?
David drinks beer too. He prefers like IPAs. He's more into craft beer.
Fancy. Okay.
And Aaron will have a cocktail occasionally and a beer occasionally, but he's not much of a drinker at all.
Well, I expected you guys to be like crazy drunkards just from what I see in your videos. I mean, you guys make some of the best fucking videos, by the way. They're all hilarious.
Well, I drink more than my share, so I guess maybe I'm making up for the difference. But thanks, yeah, those videos are a real leg up for us as far as making people being relatable to people.
Yeah, are those mostly you guys? You guys come up with the concept? Do you guys have somebody that like comedians helping out? Because I know you guys have had like cameos from certain comedians like Fred Armisen and Brian Posehn. So like, are they helping out with coming up with these concepts, or are you guys? Is this all you?
The concepts are all Whitey McConaughey. He's a buddy of ours from up here. He cut his teeth doing snowboard videos.
Nice.
Back in the way back in the day, he did like King of the Road. He started that. I think he shot most of that. May have been one of the creators. I'm not sure. I know our tour manager is a co-creator of King of the Road. But then he went on to do a lot of the Jackass stuff, and he's been making music videos for a really long time. WhiteyFilms.com. He's got some great videos from the past 15 years. He's done like Slater Kinney video. He's done a ZZ Top video. He's just super creative and really high energy, super motivated. And we're just lucky that he's uses us as a canvas to paint his pictures. So basically, when he comes up with an idea, he'll just call us up and say, "Hey, you guys want to come down to have coffee or meet up at a bar or whatever?" And he'll tell us his concept. And generally, just we just cry laughing. And he'll take some input, like we'll start riffing on an idea, like, "Oh, well, we could do this or that." Like our most recent video with him was a sort of a spoof on all the things that can get on on your nerves being in on a tour van for a long time.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean that. So I think that it was easy for us to spitball on that one because we live it, and a lot, I mean most of those ideas are based loosely in fact. So. But honestly, I mean, we get along pretty well. We've been a band for 12 years. We've learned how to, handle each other's little ticks or whatever, quirks, exactly. But anyway, so in that case, yeah, I was like, oh, we could do this, So that was fun. But yeah, but in general, they are his ideas, and he's, like I say, he's just so energetic, and he's just got so many great ideas that we basically go, okay, when do you want me to drink beer? When do you want me to do this or that? And so, because none of us consider ourselves actors. We're reactors.
Reactors. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's how I found the band many years ago. When I saw the Wires video, I was blown away, dude. I just love the whole concept, the idea of like the band got $5,000 and you're going to spend it all, and show you like tab it up on the bottom of the screen. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and that video was really, really fun to make. I mean, someone tells you to just destroy things with a car. It's like, what? You all right, I guess my job is hard.
So wait, is the concept like something that really happened? Like, did you guys actually get a giant check to make a video and that's what you did?
No.
Because I mean, you guys really did though, like explode shit with cars and you know, drink in a field, like a, what do you call it? Not a field, but I guess like a track or whatever at the end.
It's a landing strip.
It was a landing strip, right?
Private airport.
Yeah, like, but so that all costs money though. You got to rent that private airport or you know, tell the person like.
Amazingly, the owner of that private airport, Whitey approached him and told him the concept, and he thought the idea was so great, he just let us do it for free. He just told he just told us we had to clean up because, you know, he had like student pilots landing there. He's like, I don't want you to kill anybody, so it's got to be spotless. Yeah. After the last day of shooting, we spent hours sweeping. You know, we had like, I don't know, 20 push brooms. We had everybody's car, all the cast and crew, everybody's car was lined up on the you know, the landing strip, illuminating it, and we were sweeping up until like 1 a.m. or something. It was crazy. Like, God, can we be done? Just pushing broom for 4 hours is not my idea of a good time. I mean, it was worth it because I got to kill all that shit. But the funny thing was, at the end of the night, we finally got home. The next morning, I guess, Whitey went out there and felt like that we'd missed too much, so he just rented one of those street cleaning machines and probably did you know what we did in 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh no!
And I was like, damn it, we should have just ponied up for that thing and just planned on that and just got home and said forget it. Yeah. Live and learn. Next time I kill a bunch of shit with a car, I'm gonna work for the street Zamboni.
Yeah, and you end up blowing up the car at the end, right? Did you guys really blow it up, or is that CG?
No, that was just, well, if you look at the video, it's just a trail of gasoline, and then it turns into a trough of gasoline at the base of the car. We had every intention of really burning it, but we didn't want to attract that much attention. And we figured if the fire department showed up with a burning car, we didn't have a license to do that. And we really did want to. I mean, I was sad that we couldn't, but I think as it got closer to that shot, we're like, you know what? We're not going to fucking start a car on fire. That's crazy.
Sure.
But it looks like it looks good. It
does look great. It looks great. I thought you guys actually did it because I saw you guys did everything else. Like, that wasn't, you know, you were actually driving through an entire china cabinet and all that shit.
Right, exactly. None of that was fake, I tell you that.
That sounds amazing. Like, that's something I've always wanted to do. I was always fascinated with like destruction derbies as a kid, and just being able to do that without getting injured, and just how much fun that must have been, you know?
Oh yeah, it was probably funner than you imagine. I mean, nice. Whitey's only request was, you know, after every impact, he'd be like, all right guys, but we need to go faster. I'm like, Jesus, man, we're doing like 45. He's like, faster. I'm like, you're gonna kill us. He's like, he'll be fine. And we were like, well, we need safety glasses because the windshield exploded early on. There was a misplaced watermelon on the top of one of like this stack of objects, and he was like, nothing super heavy above the hood line. But one of the folks working on the video did not do that and put a watermelon about right at windshield level, so it flew through the windshield. And I didn't, like, when we were shooting the shot, I was like, I don't want to be a wimp. But as we came closer to it, I was like, screw it. And I covered my face. And luckily I did, because that watermelon went right through the windshield and over my head. So,
oh wow, yeah,
it was sketchy. Anyway, so then there was no windshield, and then we had this really flimsy plastic and chicken wire sort of rig for the rest of the shoot. And so we're like, all right, we need goggles. This is insane. This is not safe. And he's like, you guys are wimps. Anyway, so he's like, okay. So he gets some goggles for us. But you'll see in the video that one of the most destructive things we did, we hit a pinball machine in reverse. And you'll notice that as the safety glass is flying through the car, like a ton of it, exploded the back windshield. We all have goggles, but none of us are wearing them. They're all on our foreheads. So,
oh, no.
Idiots. But whatever, it worked out fine.
Oh, at least your foreheads didn't get cut.
Yeah, exactly. Safety for the forehead. That's what our motto.
Oh shit, man. That I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite videos. I still, to this day, whenever I mention the band to someone, they're like, "Oh, I haven't heard of them." I show them that video first. Like, check this out, dude. And then they just fall in love after that.
Awesome. I've seen comments, and many of them are of the sort of the message is, oh, great video. Music's not bad either. So whatever, at least we're in there. That's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, the music's great, dude. You guys put on a really good show. I've seen you twice this year, and both times you fucking killed it. I have some random ass questions that people wanted me to ask, like, what's your favorite newer band right now, if you have one?
Newer band.
Newer band,
yeah. Two bands that are new to me. I don't think either of them are new, but Young Widows and True Widow. I really enjoy both those bands quite a bit. I just got turned on to King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard, and they're pretty amazing, super prolific band.
That's a tongue twisting name.
It really is, yeah. I don't know who else knew that band. Nothing I like quite a bit. It's cool, sort of. It's like shoegazer doom or something.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a couple.
Is there any guilty pleasure type music that you listen to that's like not expectant from a man in a stoner metal band?
Well, we like to say there's no such thing as guilty and pleasure. I think those are it's an oxymoron. If you like it, you like it. If you feel guilty about it, well, then you got to get your priorities straight. Because if you like it, it doesn't fucking matter what it is. It could be Crystal Gale or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever. If you like it, if it brings you joy, then turn it up, man. I don't know. I think it would probably surprise people that John and I took our ladies to go see Justin Timberlake a couple of years ago. Nice. I'm a big fan of Justin Timberlake. I think he's phenomenal. He writes a really well structured pop song. Can dance his ass off. He's a great comedian. Anyway, he's a triple threat.
It's a triple threat.
Yeah. I don't know. I still to this day I really enjoy Simon and Garfunkel quite a bit. And Jesus Christ Superstar is my favorite musical. I could probably sing I could probably sing along to every word of that. I think I have 3 copies of it on vinyl. I don't know why. Jesus. For safety. I don't know.
For safety. If one ever breaks, you have a backup.
That's right.
And then you have
don't worry, guys.
Backup for that.
Don't panic. I got another one.
Oh shit! Are you not are you Catholic, Christian? Are you a big religious person?
No, I'm not. I'm not religious anyway.
All right, so you're just a fan of the satire, I guess. It's like me, really. I grew up in Catholicism and Christianity and all that shit. I don't follow it anymore, but I'm still fascinated by like the artwork. If I go, I like going to old ass churches and looking around, and it's cool to look at. I just don't believe any of the stories that are told.
Right. They're parables, and I think people tend to take that stuff way too literally. It's like, take it easy, and people who deny that there were dinosaurs is like, are you nuts? when you put that dollar in the when you're donating that money at the pew, you're like, did you just leave your brains in the car? What happened? I'm not religious, but I would say that, you can still believe in science and be a person of faith. I don't understand why they're mutually exclusive. And honestly, I think religion, organized religion is I'm not a fan, because I feel like it doesn't, its primary motivation is to divide us. It's like, okay, now you're part of our group. And part of being part of our group is to hate another group. It's like, no, I'm no religious scholar, but I would say, the teachings of Jesus were to love your fellow man. And it seems like that got thrown out a long time ago too. So it's like, come on, everybody, let's just chill out. I think that if you're whatever religion you are, I just think that have your own ideas, whatever your belief is, I would hope that one of the primary tenets is to be cool to each other. And as far as that's concerned, I don't need organized religion or religion in general to know that I'm supposed to be good to other people. Do unto others as others would do unto you is not a Christian concept; it's a human concept. And I don't need somebody with a goofy outfit and incense to tell me it. So, but if that dude wasn't there taking my money, would I go out and start murdering people? I don't think so. I haven't yet. So whatever. Anyway, in any case.
Yeah, no, some of those religions will push you to be like, hey, if you do murder, it's fine. Just come confess and we'll let you through. It'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Sure, I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna. I mean, talking about religion, it could get ugly. So whatever.
Oh, I know, yeah,
but really, the real thing is, I really don't care what your religion is, just as long as you don't push it on other people, and it brings you happiness. I mean, I think a lot of people are flagellating themselves because of a 2,000-year-old book that written by fucked up people. You know what I mean? It's like, don't take this shit literally.
People from the Inquisition were pretty fucked up, man. I saw one of those things at a museum, like a torture devices from that era. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, that's not cool, man. I don't want to be in a freaking vice, with my head with spikes and stuff. Like, what's going on? Why are we Hellraiser all of a sudden? Like,
yeah, that does not seem like the lion laying down with the lamb at all. It sounds like the lion is eating the lamb to me. But whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think to be positive and be optimistic. I do feel that we are, in general, people are starting to appreciate that perspective that we have, where like, hey man, just do your thing. I think a lot of organized religions are being they're going by the wayside. A lot of people are seeing shit go down with priests and little boys and all of that, and things are happening where people are like, you know what, maybe it's not for me, and they go find themselves, and that's good,
right?
I feel that hopefully in the next few years, like that whole generation of the Inquisition will be gone, and we can move on from that,
right? Well, I mean, unfortunately, I think that that humanity, to some degree, we go on, cycles of we have from whatever liberal to conservative, that kind of thing. And unfortunately, it seems as though the world is sort of heading more towards getting the Inquisition back. You know what I mean? It's like people are really taking sides on all kinds of things, and it's scary. Isolationism is at an all-time high, and anyway, it's just disturbing. It's that humanity can have a Hitler, and that Hitler could so easily have convinced a population that his madness was a way to better their lives, and it's scary. We don't, luckily in America we have checks and balances, and whatever your idea is, whatever your political leanings, that everything is tempered, which is nice. So hopefully we won't get that kind of thing happening again. But extremism, liberal extremism or conservative extremism is scary. But it's also, I think, part of, the human condition. That's kind of we have a tendency towards that. So anyway, I hope that, cool heads prevail. We don't have some kind of World War III here. So anyway, this is really turned heavy, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? What the hell? No, I was just gonna say, like, me personally, I was all freaked out at first, man, and now I'm really just trying to see things positively and optimistically. And shit's crazy right now, but I do feel that maybe we needed a little bit of crazy to get us off our asses. A lot of people were getting really complacent and not, there was just like a dip in creativity in the world, and now with this driven passion that people have to speak out against what's going on, I feel like there's more creativity, all the things that I loved growing up, punk music and art and all that shit is starting to come back to the forefront because people are trying to get off their asses and express themselves artistically that, hey, this is not good,
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to see it positively, man. Like, it's just like you said, it's a pendulum that swings. It goes back and forth. And I think it's necessary to have this chaos sometimes just to get us off our asses to do something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that the pendulum can swing too far in either direction. And I think it's important in the United States that everyone's perspective is respected and everyone has their voice. I mean, you can be arrested. There was a couple of dudes in Germany who were just arrested for, jokingly zig heiling, but they were put in jail for that. In America, there's still freedom of speech. You can still do whatever the fuck you want, as long as you don't act out on someone else. And that's really important to me, that you can express yourself, here in America. I mean, for all of its faults. I mean, I'm an American, and I believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah. No, dude, it's an amazing thing. I mean, my family's Cuban. I was born in New Jersey, but everybody in my family, from both mother and father, were from Cuba. And over there, what I'm doing right now would be illegal. I would be a criminal, and if they found me, they would kill me. I wouldn't even go to jail. I would just be dead.
That is fucked.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nuts. Just having a little radio show where I'm talking shit with someone else about American music, that's it. Done. Goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. and that's not uncommon. There's plenty of places in the world that don't, see it our way. And that's fine, but I mean, I like that we, are still, still respect the human mind. It's like, thought police and shit. It's like, get out of here. I mean, we can say whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting somebody,
Sure. Well, let me try and cheer it up a little bit.
Yay!
It is Halloween.
All right.
It is Halloween.
Balloons
What's
and
your favorite
candy?
Yeah, actually, yes, literally. What's your favorite candy?
Oh, jeez.
Here, I'll give you two. You could do a chocolatey one and just a regular candy one if you want. That way, you have options.
Well, I eat a lot of gummy Cokes. I'm a big fan.
Gummy Cokes.
Yeah, man, they're awesome. Well, I think when I was a kid, my Spanish teacher in Tucson, when I was like first grade, second grade, and it was Mr. Garcia. He had two things were pretty amazing. The candy thing was if you got something right, you read something in Spanish and you got the verb correct or whatever. He would give you a piece of hard candy that was made in Mexico out of Coca-Cola formula. So it was like pure, uninundated Coca-Cola, which was amazing. So we were all like, I'm going to get good at Spanish because that shit is good. So, but the other thing he would do, if you did something really well, he would bring over a shrunken head and show just you. He's like, so if you got like he had a shrunken head in class. It was in a box, and you'd come over, and if you had the highest test score, he would show you the shrunken head.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was the 70s. You could get away with that shit. So
yeah, they can't do that shit now.
So anyway, maybe I got my gummy Coke obsession from that.
Okay.
And then the Take 5 is a pretty damn good candy bar if you've ever had that. It's got salted pretzels in it. It's like a chocolate bar with like caramel and salted pretzels.
Okay.
It kind of
I don't know if I've ever had one.
It kind of feels adult because there's a pretzel in it. I don't know.
Yeah, you could eat it with beer.
Yes, exactly. It's an adult snack.
Oh man, thinking you got me thinking about school, and I don't know if it's been a long time since I was in school, and I don't have kids, so I don't really have a frame of reference. But do they still do crazy shit like my science teacher brought a giant's cow's lungs or whatever, bags of these cow lungs, and would make us cut them open and shove our hands in there and pull like balls of grass that were lodged in the lungs. Do they do that kind of shit anymore? Or is that too crazy now?
I don't.
Considered
I don't.
Radical teaching.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're still dissecting frogs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's part of biology, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think the kids. It's been more of a thing lately where kids are just like, no, vegetarian, not going to do it. And I think that they're respecting that. They're like, that's cool. You just have to read. You have to read this how-to on it. You just don't have to, physically do it. So, I mean, I remember we killed goldfish in my I don't know what grade I was in. It was biology class when I was maybe sophomore.
They made you kill goldfish?
Yeah, we had a bunch of live goldfish. That sounds harsh. We were just applying different solutions to live goldfish under a microscope to see how it affected their vascular system. I guess you look through their tail, and so we put like, I don't know, various things like mild alcohol solution or salt solution or whatever. But then they had a nicotine solution to show, that it constricts the blood vessels and whatever, just as an illustrative thing to say, hey, don't smoke. But they could never dilute it enough. It was just like instant death. We must have killed, I don't know, 20 goldfish before they said, okay, forget the nicotine. You get it. It kills things. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a little rough, man. Yeah, that wouldn't fly these days. I don't think parents would allow that.
Yeah, just killing goldfish now. I mean, in the
No.
20s, they ate them live for fun. So I don't know, changing times.
Yeah, I remember there was a bar near me in Florida that would have like chugging contests where you would chug a goldfish and then spit it back out or something, like vomit it back out.
Yeah, I mean,
that was you get tickets to a concert for doing that, apparently.
Jesus. Well, I mean, I guess as far as the world's cruelties, I can think of worse things.
Right. Okay, next fun question. Taking into consideration that you have all the money in the world, what costume would you like to... I know, right? What costume would you wear for like a Halloween party if you could just waste whatever money getting the stuff?
I would say I would dress up like I don't know, Buck Rogers or something, and wear a jetpack, a working jetpack. Except for I think it's alive because I'd be too terrified to fly around in it. I'd just end up, in the chimney of somebody's house. It would probably not end well.
Face plant against a building or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not the most coordinated dude you've ever met.
Well, I mean, I think that comes with drinking beer. I'm the same way, dude. I'm filled with little scars and bumps and like what's going on? I was just walking down the street and ran into the side of a building or something or a newspaper thing.
Oh yeah, I've done my share.
All right, another question. Favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie?
Do you? Wait, hold on. Are you a fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although lately I haven't been going to see the horror films because I'm a little more squeamish in my old age. Maybe I'm approaching death. It doesn't seem as fun anymore. But
okay.
I really liked Let the Right One In. I thought that was a really, really good story. I've seen that movie, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. And I read the book, and the book was even more brutal. That's a pretty riveting horror movie. Nice. When I was a kid, I guess I was a big fan of the Freddy Krueger series, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween. I was a big fan of that.
Nice.
And then Hellraiser, I thought that was a great concept. I mean, there's a scene where the heroine is like, she's got the box and she's trying to fuck with Pinhead, and she goes, "Go to hell," and he says, "We can't." And it's like, dude, that's so great. It's like it's like multi-dimensional evil. It's like he's so evil that they booted him out of hell. It's like, that is some rugged stuff.
Yeah. No, that movie for sure traumatized my childhood, like in a good way. Like it just changed me completely. Just watching even the gore wasn't that big a deal for me. Like just look, I wanted to see they would come up with next in terms of crazy, designs for the characters. They always had some kind of crazy shit. Like one dude, I forget what, I think it's Hellraiser 4. He's shooting CDs out of his arm or something.
Yeah. I think they were jumping the shark pretty heavy by 4. But it occurs to me that I do know what my favorite horror movie is, and it's hands down The Thing, by John Carpenter's remake of the 50s. That movie, I must have seen that like 40 times at least. I love it. I love the soundtrack. I think R.J. McCready, that character is just terrific because it's hard-boiled helicopter pilot, and the effects. This was way before CGI, so just some of those creatures were just the creativity behind it, and it was just. I mean, that dude's head, oozes off of his body, upside down, then sprouts spider legs and runs around the place with like a frog's grappling hook tongue. It's like, oh my God. Anyway,
yeah, man,
I love it. And the sense of claustrophobia and just and terror that they maintain, and it's a great ensemble cast. Anyway, if anybody listening to this hasn't seen that movie, you got to see it. It just showed here in town on 70 millimeter, and I missed it. Sad. Well,
no, it's definitely a classic to watch, man. I was watching earlier today just a little clip video of, collection of 80s horror movies and their practical effects, man. Like they need to go back to that. That is so much more creepy than CG fucking fangs,
Exactly. And the thing, I mean, eventually they'll get CGI to the point that, you won't be able to tell the difference, which is sort of terrifying in itself as far as like, all this. I'm not getting back to politics, but fake news. It's like, well, watch with your own eyes as this happens. It's like, well, I can't believe it. I mean, or if I can choose not to believe it, because that could, anything can be manufactured once they perfect it,
Oh yeah, dude, the technology is getting crazy.
Yeah. But it will make for some badass movies. So whatever.
It will. Yeah, I heard, I think it was Joe Rogan was talking about this, but it was about a program that they can just from a certain amount of time of you talking recorded, they can recreate your voice and make you say things that they type on a computer, and it sounds like a person.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
that's weird, man. I don't want that. Why are we working on that?
No bueno, man. No bueno.
Why are we working on that technology? There should be other things that we be working on. Like curing specific diseases and repairing limbs immediately.
Hopefully, they're working on that too.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, people say.
I just read an article a couple of months ago on virtual reality films, and I think that's the next thing. So hopefully I don't croak before that happens, but that sounds really intriguing to me. It's basically, it's completely immersive. I was reading about like one of these short films that was made. I guess after about 20 minutes, most people start feeling a pretty severe nausea, so they're keeping them short. But you are one of the characters in the film. You aren't free to just run around the place willy-nilly, but you can look around 360 in whatever environment they put you in. And so you watch the movie the first time and say there's, some plot development is happening behind you.
You turn around.
You watch the movie the first time, and then the second time you watch it, you're like, okay, those guys that were, that come to rob the store or whatever came from my right. And then so you can look off behind you to the right and see these people hanging out at a street corner or something like that. And it just sounds incredible. I mean, I'm excited for that to come to fruition, or at least become accessible to the everyday Joe.
Sure. Have you had a chance to play with any VR, like PlayStation VR?
No, I haven't. It's really intriguing to me,
dude. It's crazy. My buddy bought it, and I couldn't handle it for more than 15-20 minutes before I had to stop. It felt like I was gonna puke because you're in there, man. He had one where you're Batman, and like you move your hand and the phone's ringing, and you have to pick up the phone with the controller and like put it up to your ear, and I was just like tripping the fuck out. Like, no way. This is not, it's too accurate,
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it was, whatever, Space Invaders and stuff. So for this stuff, for this to be a real thing, it's like, it's just crazy. I can't imagine what it's like to, be a 10-year-old with the technology being the way it is. It's got to be a totally different experience growing up with all these gadgets.
Oh, sure. I think here in LA they're opening up a theme park where you go in and they put a backpack on you. It's got a laptop in it, and you put on a headset, and it's a maze, and it's mapped out so that you're walking around and you see a tree, but it's not a tree. It's just a piece of plastic or whatever. And you can actually touch it, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a tree there, and you're going through the jungle, and you're hunting animals or hunting aliens.
Are there props that you react with that say maybe don't look like a tree? It's like some kind of plastic cylinder, but it just, when you touch it, it is a physical object.
Yeah. There's props. Yeah. There'll be props everywhere. There'll be like, areas where you're going up. You go up a set of stairs, and it's like, maybe it's a temple, and you're going up a temple, temple stairs, but it's just a regular staircase. But you see it as a temple,
That sounds awesome.
Or anything.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's going to be like a little theme park type of thing. Then they'll do like different adventures. Like for Halloween, they'll have zombie attack, and they'll have people that can walk up to you, and you'll see them as a zombie, but there's just a normal human,
right, actors or whatever, there. Yeah.
Actors, yeah.
Wow.
Stuff like that. That's the future of the haunted house, man, from like the fair.
That sounds amazing. I don't really go for haunted houses because I don't know. It's like, what if one of these, these poor college kids that are doing this really does go around the bend? They're, they have a real sword. Poor choice.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of them, man. I don't get scared, and I'm kind of annoyed. And, they're like in your face trying to get you scared. I'm like, dude, it's not going to work. What you're going to do is piss me off. Or you're going to worry me that you're going to actually kill me, and I'll defend myself,
Yeah, you give a 22-year-old kid a black eye.
Yeah. It's like an old man punching a young kid at the park.
It's no good. No
Okay.
good.
Cool, man. Well, hey, dude, it's been about an hour. I wanted to, thank you for taking some time to talk.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I hope I wasn't the guilty party as far as turning this thing into some kind of post-apocalyptic depression thing in the middle there.
No, dude, it's actually been happening a lot. I mean, it's it's an issue. There's stuff going on. You got to talk about it.
The world is is an ever-changing place, and that I'm not particularly happy with the amount of hostility and sort of divisiveness that seems to be happening globally. I don't. It's not an American thing. It's a global thing. It's changing. So
yeah.
In any case, but yeah, I'm glad that people are reacting the way they are. And trying to keep. How about let's just keep the pendulum in the middle.
Right.
I don't need to have my way, but I don't want to see people get hurt.
For sure. Like to quote George Carlin, be excellent to each other.
That's a good quote, and it's good advice.
Yeah, be excellent to each other. There's no
Exactly.
need for picking sides. We can enjoy both sides of it if we want to. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Well, I guess the sun's about going down here, so I probably should fortify my basement with supplies so that we can hide from the children.
For sure, man. Well, yeah, thanks again for your time. People, look up Red Fang. You guys just finished a small little run in California and some of like Vegas and Portland and stuff like that. Any plans to hit the road before the end of the year, or are you done?
Yeah, we leave for Europe in I think 9 days. I think we're heading out. We're gonna go support Mastodon over in Europe. So
oh, nice.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, I think we toured with them. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and they were just fantastic people, and I really enjoy their band. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very cool, man. So yeah, if you're in Europe, check them out. Google them.
Oh, and turn of the year, we're going to be doing some selected dates with Corrosion Conformity and Black Label Society. So keep an eye out for that too.
Fuck yeah, very cool.
In America.
Yeah. Pick up Only Ghosts. It's your most recent album. Pick up all of them if you haven't heard them before. I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, man.
There'll be a song in the beginning and the end. I like to do that so people, if you haven't heard them, you'll hear them.
Perfect. Hopefully that doesn't turn them off so much that they don't listen to the interview at all.
No, I'm sure whoever tunes in is because they've heard of you or they're curious enough to hear what's up.
Well, let's hope so.
All right, man. I will see you around. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, Eddie.
Cheers.
Cheers.